Hey everyone, Alex here with UTRGV Outdoor Adventures. With the cold front that came through and knocked out power here, as well as hurricane season being just around the corner, I wanted to talk to you about emergency preparedness. Now, whether you're at home or out in the wilderness, the best thing you can do for an emergency is plan ahead. You want to make sure that you have everything you need before something happens, so when it does, you can handle it much easier. Now, with just a small amount of prep work, you can get through most emergency situations very comfortably using just what I would call a bug-out bag. Now, if you've never heard of a bug-out bag before, basically what it is a kit that you have pre-prepared for a bug-out situation, whether you need to evacuate for an emergency or you're sheltering in place. But it's a kit where it'll get you through multiple days without having to worry and stress about going to the store and things being out of stock. You've already got everything right in here. So I'll unpack it, we'll go through what we've got, and hopefully you'll be ready to go this hurricane season. All right, now that we have everything unpacked, the first thing I'm gonna talk to you about is water. Now, when there's an emergency situation, you won't always have access to potable or drinkable water, especially if you're traveling. You wanna make sure that you've got enough with you, so having a portable, collapsible water container like that is nice, but then you wanna make sure that you have a way to make that water drinkable, whether it is a small filtering device like this, a chemical treatment, or using a stove and fuel to boil your water. We will actually be doing an additional video on water purification to go more in depth and to teach you exactly how to how to use different purification methods to make sure you've got safe drinking water. Now, after your water, you want to look at your food. So having food in here, you always want to make sure that it's not going to go bad. Something has a long shelf life. Like I've got a can of tuna here, which the best by date is 2023, so I've got a good 2 years where I don't have to worry about this too much. Or you can even look into backpacking meals like that are vacuum sealed or freeze dried, and you don't have to worry about them going bad. That has a best by date of 2050, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Plus, those are real nice. They give you tons of energy. And they fill you up real good to make sure that you're not having to worry too much about where your next meal's coming from. So having plenty of meals like that with you, they obviously don't take up a lot of space either, so you can get quite a few of those in there with a large variety, so you're not having to eat the same thing for multiple days, depending on how long you're in whatever the scenario is you're using your bug out bag for. Next, we'll move on to your personal items. So having a toiletries bag with your typical travel stuff, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste. Having a separate kit in there again is nice, so you can just grab your bag and go instead of having to dig through your bathroom and finding everything. You've already got it packed and prepped. Then, talking about clothes, you always want to have at least a couple changes of clothes. I like to have different layers so you can wear multiple things at the same time, depending on the temperature or the area that you're in. You never want to underestimate the morale boost that a pair of nice, warm, clean socks can give you, especially in a stressful survival situation. Then, with the example of a weather-related event, you always want to make sure to have a portable radio that can pick up the NOAA, or NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association weather radio frequency. They have a constant feed going through there, giving you local updates on temperature, different measurements, what the expected weather event is going to do, things like precipitation, and all that sort of stuff. So you can make sure to plan ahead with wherever you're going to be. Then next thing we talked about is having a light source, whether it's a flashlight. I prefer a headlamp personally, just because that frees up my hands to be able to do whatever I need to, but making sure you have extra batteries. I typically don't even leave batteries in here in my kit. I've got my headlamp with no batteries in it, but then I've got my unused open batteries ready to be put in there for when I need them. So at that point I don't have to turn it on and the batteries are dead. I know I've got fresh batteries here, so I don't have to worry about that when I'm on the go. You can also look into solar or portable chargers. You always want to make sure that you keep these charged, because you don't want to get out into a survival situation or an emergency and find, oh well, the battery's dead, so then you can't charge whatever you need to. The solar part does take a little bit of time, so you don't want to rely on just that, which is why most of these will have like a USB type of charger where you can keep it plugged in when you don't need it, and then it's ready to go when you do. Next, I'm going to talk about having a first aid kit. Now, you don't need a big bulky one. Something small like this is fine. You just want to make sure that you are familiar with everything you have in it, what everything does, especially if there's different medications for headaches, nausea, all those different types of treatments. You want to make sure you know what's in it, what everything does, and you're not going to give somebody something that they don't need, because you can get into issues there. But having a first aid kit as well as being familiar with it is important with that. Then, again, with the unpredictability of your survival situation, having a multi-tool or a survival kit. I've got one here. It's got a pocket knife, a little fire starter, tactical pen. Having those resources to take care of whatever you need to, whether you need pliers to fix something, or a pocket knife to help cut up your food. It's always nice to have that kit, but then the key thing is your compass, as well as a map of an area that you're going to, because if your phone dies or your GPS cuts out, map and compass never runs out of batteries. It'll always point the same direction, so having that map and compass and knowing how to use it is another critical item there. Moving right along, we want to make sure that we've got a sleeping bag or a blanket, something to keep you warm, something to keep you covered, having that mental boost of just having that physical blanket there is nice. Even something as simple as those real thin emergency blankets, because you'd be surprised with how warm just this thin little layer can keep you, especially in those brief periods. And finally, something to do. So whether it's a puzzle book like this, or a novel, or a deck of cards, something to keep you busy, keep your mental health upright, because especially in a stressful situation like this, staying in good spirits, keeping your mental health up is going to help dramatically with whatever situation you're dealing with. Now, with different situations, you may adjust this kit to your personal needs. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you do have any other questions, whether it's this or just about the outdoors in general, I do encourage you to check out our outdoor concierge service, which we have available online. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck building your kits. See you next time.